Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. Let's check out some value stocks now with Tracy Reinick, our value stock editor at Zacks.com, value stock analyst, excuse me. I don't want to get the wrong terminology there, because people get upset when you do that.
Right.
First one that you want to check out with us is Joseph A. Banks Clothiers, JOSB, the ticker symbol.
Yes.
Are they just based in Chicago, or are they all over the country?
They're all over the country. They're in 42 states.
Okay.
And they're expanding. They do men's clothes, they do suits, tuxedos, some casual wear, accessories. I'm sure a lot of people have heard their ads on TV because they're pretty, they've been doing a lot of marketing lately.
Oh yeah, they got like a promotion a week.
They do, but it's working because they had a really good second quarter, which they just reported, where they beat estimates by 25%. They, their same-store sales were up over 6%, which in this kind of economy for a retailer is almost unheard of.
Big,
yeah, their overall sales were up 9.8%. They did see a little bit of weakness in their website, like their direct sales, but people are going to their stores, which is a good positive thing for them. So, you know, the company is pretty optimistic. They saw for this year that they're going to only add 10 to 15 stores, which again, at least they're adding.
Only 10 to 15.
But they've already said that they're going to be adding 30 to 40 stores in 2010, which is a little more aggressive.
That is, yeah.
And with their goal to have about 600 stores in the next couple of years. So yeah, Joseph A. Banks is doing well. Their estimates are rising because of the beat. Their chart is also interesting because they, you know, obviously bottomed out. They bottomed out, I think, in November, actually. Let me check. Yes, November. So they didn't do the March low. They had November lows. And then they've tripled off of that. But the stock isn't very expensive here, obviously, because it's a value stock. It's trading at 13 times. And like I said, their sales and what they project going forward are really positive right now. So it's a good story over there.
Well, at least one retailer doing well.
Yeah.
And then you also have written recently about Plains Exploration and Production Company, PXP, the ticker symbol.
Yes.
Again, oil and gas.
I know.
Well, we're back to oil and gas.
The energy sector is a value sector right now, I have to say, because they haven't seen as big a gains during the rally, and their estimates are rising in general as a sector. Plains is kind of interesting. They are one of the smaller explorers. They're in the Gulf of Mexico. They're in California. They are in the Permian Basin, which is in Texas. They also have some offshore drilling in Vietnam, but that's their only area outside the U.S. They used to be in New Zealand, but they've ended those operations. So they're kind of interesting. They've had similar issues that everybody else has had with natural gas prices collapsing. They've had to cut back on drilling. So year over year, the drilling is way down. But they have some big finds in the Hayesville Shale, which they have a joint partnership with Chesapeake Energy right now. They've actually took on some senior notes recently. They've sold those for about $400 million to pay off part of the loans they have with this Chesapeake Energy agreement, this joint venture. And they really see the drilling increasing in that Haynesville Shale area, and they are projecting 8 to 10% growth in production in that area for next year, which, as you know, for the smaller explorers, any kind of production growth is where they want to be going.
Sure.
You know, the estimates jumped enormously this last quarter because they beat huge. They reported $1.44, and the street was only expecting 34 cents. So obviously the third quarter's jumped, but the full year has jumped by like over 160% in the last 30 days. The fundamentals are good because they haven't seen quite as big a rally. They've only doubled off their lows, only, as we say.
Yeah, really.
But they're trading about 9 times earnings, which is pretty cheap given everything else that we've seen out there. And energy, you know, has a positive story going forward because natural gas prices aren't going to stay low for forever. And right now, crude prices are higher. So their story looks pretty good.
All right. Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right. If you have a desire to check out other value stocks Tracy's written about recently, just go to Zacks.com's homepage. Over in the upper right-hand corner, that's where we list all of the Zacks Rank Buy stock pick ideas by category, by investment category. Tracy's happens to be value, and so you can click on the headline next to that to get to a small archive and a current story, or any one of the others that we have listed there. We update those for you daily, as a matter of fact. With Tracy Reinick, I'm Terry Ruffalo.